Well, g'day there everybody. So today during Tuesday's trading session, we saw the markets have a relatively subdued push on up slightly higher. You can see on my screen the Dow Jones closing up very close to 60 points. We are left with another spinning top type of candlestick. This isn't the most impressive type of candlestick of the three markets. The S&P 500, another spinning top type of candlestick developed as at the close on Tuesday, and the Nasdaq has what we call a hangman type of candle at a very minor resistance point. Now, what is interesting about that is that although the Dow is eking up a little bit higher with the S&P and the Nasdaq lagging a little bit, we're still yet to see the ADX even slightly turn down. You can see on my screen the ADX has still got a relatively strong slope to it. This is meaning that the trend itself is still in effect. You can see on the S&P 500, it is still sloping to the upside. We have not seen this plateau nor turn down, nor have we seen this take place on the Nasdaq either. So the markets are still constructive. They are still pushing up into new all-time highs. But at the same time, we are starting to see a couple of dark candlesticks appear, so to speak, on the horizon, which are ushering in a little bit of caution. Now, if we move this discussion into some of our top 12 individual trades, you can see the Apple, for instance. I was speaking about this pre-market on Tuesday. We closed, or we're very close to more or less marginally closing where we opened at. We do have another high wave spinning top. So this is in combination with the doji candle that we were left with on Monday. Again, volume is continuing to trail out of Apple. Pay attention to this. It looks as though it wants to roll over. It wouldn't surprise me towards the end of the week if we see Apple trading subsequently or relatively lower from where we currently find ourselves at around 155 handle. Now again, BIDU today broke out. You can see on my screen on Monday, we marginally flinched around this 252 entry. On Tuesday, we definitively broke above it. As at the trading session at the moment, we do have about 10 minutes left in the day's worth of trading. It is up about $9.25. We're up around 261. So this is a relatively impressive breakout on BIDU. It is one of the sort of the final stocks since hitting our target only a couple of days ago to see this breakout. So that did come as a little bit of a surprise, but a pretty decent trade there. Caterpillar today gapping up another $1.08, very close to the end of trade today. If you are in this trade, you need to move your stop up. We do have earnings. Earnings is scheduled for the 24th of October. So it is a couple of weeks away. But again, if you are triggered into this trade at any of these pivots, 115, 116, 116, 77, 119, 119, 65, 121, 126. Personally, I'm not in at 127.28. I would encourage you to move your stop up on the trade and more or less have it below the low of Tuesday's candle. I mean, you don't want to be really playing around with this. We've got some pretty nice profits on Caterpillar. And again, you don't want to be holding on to this necessarily longer than what you'd like to as we move closer towards earnings. COP saw a little bit of a gap today, a little bit of a bounce, but nothing sort of material in the world of analysis to do with COP. CVX again hit our target. This is finally the trade which hit our target. I mean, we got in at 107, 110, 113, most recently at 116. Today, we definitively hit our target at 118.94. We are also left with a shooting star candle. So I'd encourage you to stay out of CVX. I would encourage you to not think about placing any new trades on CVX, especially with the markets being as overbought and overheated as they currently are, with the potential of that ADX turning down towards the end of the week and what that means for CVX. I would more or less leave this and be happy with the number of trades that we're already in, that we've already been taken out of for a profit as we hit our target. CVX is one of those trades. We hit our target today at 118.94. I would not go chasing this. This has been a tremendously profitable trade, and for now, I would simply let it be. Prior to today's session, I was talking about Google. The exit signal, so to speak, was generated yesterday. We got very close to our 1069 entry. This is a shooting star reversal candlestick. It didn't really occur on good volume, but it is still a legitimate signal at this particular location on the chart. Today on Tuesday, we saw a little bit of a sell-off. During the session, it was looking quite bearish, but as I speak, we're only down $4.18. So there are consecutive days, Monday and now Tuesday, of warning signals to say that, look, we are at an identifiable pivot. We are starting to see some selling take place at the top of this gap. You should be thinking, or you should already be out of Google. Also, Goldman Sachs pulling back. This initially looks like that of a bull flag. However, with earnings so close, I would not be chasing Goldman Sachs. That has been another profitable trade, but for now, I would simply leave it. Also, on the theme of pretty profitable trades, I would be looking to move my stop up on IBM. Let me just simply undo that. We had our stop at 146.25 over the weekend. Again, we've just been following all of these most recent consecutive high lows. Now the high low has been moved up on IBM. It closed up another $1. That's a pretty nice little move, a little bit of a gimme sort of trade on top of what we've already established. This earnings announcement is scheduled for the 16th. That is Monday upcoming. So again, I'd be trailing tight stops. I'd have it at 147.61, and if you are more diligent in terms of your trade targets, you would have actually been traded or at least stopped out of this for a profit. You would have hit your target at 148.79 today during the trading session, and you should be out of IBM as well. But 147.61 is a hard stop if you want to hold on to this. I would encourage you not to. I would encourage you to more or less liquidate this trade where we are currently located on the chart. We're at the bottom of the open window. This may grind on up a little bit higher, but you certainly need to liquidate this position prior to Friday's close this week. Netflix again did recently break out. It's pulling back. It looks as though we're going through a retest now of about this 190, 192 handle, even 193 handle. Again, very similar to Google. It was intraday a little bit more weaker than how it closed, which is a positive for both Netflix and Google. You can see this lower wick here, but at the same time, I wouldn't be looking to, first of all, be liquidating the original long at 192.94. I'd be holding on to it, but at the same time, it is very close to this earnings announcement, which is scheduled for Monday also. So it sort of inhibits or hinders, so to speak, us jumping in, because at the same time, it looks as though we are setting up that of a bull flag as well. But the problem is we don't have enough time to enter into Netflix prior to Monday's earnings announcement. I just wanted to make that clear as well. And to conclude with, we've got Tesla. Tesla is trying to oscillate back up into this resistance area, much like Amazon, much like Google. And some of these other stocks like COP and Goldman Sachs, for instance, that have been drilling into its macro support. Again, we more or less closed the gap on Monday. You can see this dark candlestick here, an elevated volume. We sort of overshot the gap, but first thing Tuesday, we're up again. We're up another $10.48, very close to the close on Tuesday. So we are going to have to put up with a little bit of market noise on Tesla as we continue to pound out this support. If I change to the oscillators, they are still healthy, they are still constructive, and they're supporting this gradual grind back up to 375 as well. So I just wanted to give you an update on the markets. Again, they are continuing to move on up a little bit higher. The Dow closing up or very close to 57 points. The S&P 500 is only marginally up 4 points. We do have another spinning top type of candlestick, and that on the NASDAQ, it does resemble that of a hangman at resistance. However, it is still positive, up 4.27 points, very close to the close on Tuesday. The reason why the candlestick is dark is because we are still above the close of Monday's candle. Even though we gapped up, we traded down during the session, we're still positive, up 4.27 points relative to where we closed at on, of course, Monday. All right. And today's candlestick, the close is below the open, hence why the real body of the candle is dark during this construction, during this afternoon market update. So on that note, everybody, if you have any questions, please email me, success@pivotpoint-trading.com. Other than that, enjoy your Tuesday evening, and I'll be back with you later in the week to update you on individual movements in stocks and also the greater and broader markets themselves. All the best, everyone. It's James signing off on behalf of Pivot Point Trading. Goodbye.